Good morning. I'm not sure I've heard the bell rung with such enthusiasm in a long time. That was wonderful. Thank you for doing that. My name is Bill Bestpitch, and I have the honor of being your worship associate this morning. I use he, him, his pronouns, but I'm really not fussy. Please take a moment to put your mind, your spirit, and your cell phones in worship mode. So we welcome everyone here and online to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Roanoke this morning. We're so glad you're all here with us today and hope that you choose to stay for fellowship following the service in the fellowship hall on the other side of the accordion doors there. So let's take a second to turn. Stand up if you wish and connect with everybody watching at home. If you are watching online at home and you wish to share your joys and concerns during the Lifelines portion of the service, please put them in the chat in the next 15 minutes. Our church is served by our minister, the Reverend Jen Raffensperger. This week, we're pleased to welcome Reverend Dr. Kathy Hurt as a guest in our pulpit. Reverend Dr. Kathy Hurt has served 8 UU congregations over the course of more than 35 years in ministry, working in the upper Midwest, California, Ohio, Michigan, Kentucky, and most recently North Carolina as both a settled minister and an interim minister. Now retired to Virginia to live near her son, Kathy still enjoys keeping up with UUism while hiking in this area and working on writing projects. Her most recent publication, a collaborative project with UU minister Penny Hackett Evans, is about the nature of longing, entitled Whispers of the Soul. We acknowledge that our church resides on the traditional lands of the Tutelo and Monacan nations and was later formed and developed through slave labor. We recognize and respect the ongoing connection to this land by generations of Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. May our gratitude and our fellowship here echo and honor that rich history. Please join me then in reciting our words of welcome. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you express your identity, whatever your situation in life, whatever your experience of the holy, as you come seeking love, your presence here is a gift. Whether you are filled with sadness, overflowing with joy, needing to be alone with yourself, or eager to engage with others, all who welcome all are welcome here. And our covenant, we commit to supporting each other with respect and direct communication as we work in community to explore spiritual growth and to be a force for good in the world.
Good morning, everybody. Hi. My name is Carrie Morgievich, and I'm the music director. And our opening song is number 347. You have hymnals, and the words will also be on the screen. And we're just singing verses 1 and 2. And we have the Sunday singers here to help us. So please rise as you can and sing with us.
Witness the The words for lighting the chalice are adapted from Unitarian Universalist minister Davidson Lohr. This is a sacred time, this time, and a sacred place, this place. A time when you may hear questions more profound than any answers. A time when you may experience a vulnerability more powerful than any strength. A time when you may come to a peace beyond any understanding. This is a sacred time and a sacred place, and we mark the sacredness by lighting our chalice.
May the light without end inspire us to use our lives to heal and not to harm, to love and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, O Spirit of love.
And our opening words this morning are from the great 20th century novelist, playwright, poet, and social activist Langston Hughes, who said, "Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow."
You can come on up. My name is Jessie. I use they, them pronouns. And I'm going to invite up anybody who wants to hear a story. Come on up. I'm actually going to ask you a couple questions during the story. So my first question is, who here can think? Yeah? Was that a weird question? Okay. Who here thinks about things when they're riding? Let's go with riding in a car. If we think too hard while we're driving, it's another story altogether. Who here thinks while they're riding in the back seat? I think all the time when I'm riding in a car, when I'm in an airplane. I'm about to take 6 hours of airplane trips on Thursday, and then I'm going to have to sit in an airport for another 6 hours. You can bet I'm going to be doing lots of thinking. When I think about all sorts of things. I think about my mom. I think about my sister. I think about my nieces. One of my nieces is 4 years old, and I think about what she's going to do when she's 6, when she's 12, when she's 40. Yes, even 4-year-olds turn into 40-year-olds. I think about what she is going to do. Now, she is a cool kid, and I have her permission to tell you about this, because she likes to wear cowboy boots, a tutu, and a helmet. And that's it to dinner. That's all she wants to wear to dinner. A tutu's a big, fancy skirt. You have 2 tutus? So do you wear those to dinner sometimes? Okay, well, you should try it. Harriet really likes it. Harriet has told me that when she grows up, she wants to be a suitcase. Because she wants to be able to carry everything. That's kind of cool. How many of us, now that you know why Harriet wants to be a suitcase, how many of us are sometimes a suitcase? Yeah, I see lots of moms with their hands in the air. I've seen your backpack. You are kind of a suitcase. She has told me that she wants to be a cowboy because she loves animals, and she got to feed a cow whose head is as big as her body with her bare hands. That's pretty cool. So it's very brave. Harriet's one of the bravest people I know other than these guys. She has told me all these things. Now, when I was Harriet's age, even when I was 4 years old, I would get in trouble for talking about things like that. Not by my mom, but at school. because they told me I was daydreaming. Who's heard of daydreaming? It's when we think really hard about things, and maybe we're not paying attention to everything around us, but we're telling stories in our head. We're thinking about what's next. We're dreaming while we're awake. That's what daydreaming is. But if I hadn't been a daydreamer, I wouldn't be right here telling you guys stories. Some of the best stories come out of daydreaming. Some of the best jobs come out of daydreaming. Who has ever played a game on a cell phone? That cell phone came from a daydream. Who has ever seen upstairs where we like play games and do crafts and stuff like that? Have you seen the bulletin boards up there? You're gonna see them today, Faye. I promise. All those bulletin boards came from daydreams. A lot of the things that we do upstairs come from daydreams. So what I want to tell you is, quick question, who's made earrings before? Those came from daydreams. So you helped me at the picnic. That's right. Oh my goodness. So all of these things that we do come from imagination and come from daydreams. We're going to go upstairs and we're going to do a little daydreaming of our own. But I want you to know, and I want you to know, that you're never too young or never too old to use your daydreams. And if you have a big idea, use your big ideas, because sometimes they end up in a really cool job or a really cool thing that you've made, or sometimes they're just real fun, like a slip and slide. That probably came from a daydream. You guys ready to head upstairs? Let's do it.
Our reading this morning is by the poet Louise Driscoll. Hold fast your dreams. Within your heart keep one still secret spot where dreams may go, and sheltered so may thrive and grow, where doubt and fear are not. Oh, keep a place apart within your heart for little dreams to go. Think still of lovely things that are not true. Let wish and magic work at will in you. Be sometimes blind to sorrow. Make believe. Forget that calm that lies in disillusioned eyes. Though we all know that we must die, yes, you and I may walk like gods and be even now at home in immortality. We see so many ugly things, deceits and wrongs and quarrelings. We know, alas, we know how quickly fade the color in the west, the bloom upon the flower, the bloom upon the breast, and youth's blind hour. So keep within your heart a place apart where little dreams may go, may thrive and grow. Hold fast your dreams.
Before I begin the sermon, I want to say how happy I am to be with you all this morning, and I appreciate Reverend Jen's invitation to share worship with you. She and I moved to the area about the same time, and so we were learning the whole community as well as getting to know one another in tandem with one another, and also to congratulate you on what a meaningful and exciting first year of ministry y'all have had together. So I look forward to seeing what's going to unfold here over time with you. Go back in time for a moment and remember the perfect world, the sort of imaginary world Jesse just talked about, the world of your own childhood fantasies. What made that perfect? Where'd you get the ideas for your perfect world? And how did you ensure that it was perfect for you? If a spiritual tradition offers nothing else, it can be counted on to offer some sort of vision of a perfect world. Some of these visions are more elaborate than others, but all have common features such as a complete absence of all the sufferings humans are prey to, like hunger, illness, death, the overturning of any kind of injustice so that fairness and equity prevail. Compassion is present in all interactions, and war has been eliminated. And many perfect worlds add a few more features that mostly provide color and imagery, such as beautiful fields, golden streets, banquet tables overflowing with food, running streams. Sometimes gods that are central in the tradition may be placed in these perfect worlds in such a way that they're readily accessible, thereby eliminating the chronic frustration of humans trying to draw the divine into our personal affairs without much success. So these perfect worlds have all that we need, all that we might imagine ever needing, in order to be happy and content every single moment of our lives. Which means that such visions, whatever truth value they hold in the tradition that generates them, have a lot to say about the nature of the people who seize upon them. Just like your perfect world from your childhood probably said a great deal about who you were then, what you longed for in your life that was missing, where you most often found satisfaction. That's the nature of visions. They're placed outside or before us as a destination for us to aim ourselves towards. And that's valuable for us to have that to guide and motivate us. But visions are also testimonies about the state of the soul of the person casting the vision, what she holds most dear, what he most yearns to have more of, what they find missing in their present experience, and also what always seems to be just out of reach. For visions don't carry power as a result of simply suggesting what I might do next in some sort of reasonable, accessible way. A vision places itself beyond my reach and comes with the warning that it will cost me something to get there. It will not be a simple matter to get there. The elements of the vision are not anything I can have just with a bit of extra effort or tweaking what already is present in my life. You who are members of this congregation are living that reality presently in your capital campaign, with a vision of a restored and revitalized spiritual home before you, alongside that high goal of getting there. Visions that matter to us are never within easy reach. Article 2 of our Unitarian Universalist statements of who we are and what we're about, that places love at the center and values around it, is the closest we come to offering a vision of a perfect world. Our vision comes without really any colorful imagery and not in particularly grand language. Article 2 says in part that we see existence as an interdependent web that we live within in a spirit of humility, where we enjoy sustainable relationships of care and respect, mutuality and justice. In our vision of the perfect world, we celebrate diversity and learn from one another, living in diverse communities where all thrive. Our vision is not an especially rich one when compared to what some traditions offer, but it is lofty and challenging in its imagination of what a perfect world could be. And it does share the qualities of perfect worlds in other traditions, where instead of suffering or unfairness, there's peace and justice. And our vision of a perfect world holds out something we seek and long for and struggle to have and don't find very often. A world that has as a central feature the relationships of community for everyone, an entire world community. This implies that all the usual barriers to community of intolerance and fear and loneliness and exclusivity would be banished from our perfect world, allowing everybody to be gathered up in community once and for all. Perhaps this is our Unitarian Universalist version of heaven or nirvana, the vision of a world where all is finally made right. Circle back now to that imaginary world of your childhood. What aspects of that world have ended up being part of your actual adult life? And are there aspects of that perfect world that you're still hoping you might find in this world now? At some point in our growing up, the perfect world imagined in childhood starts fading. More and more, we realize that those wonderful visions of ourselves as having superpowers and living in castles and loved by everybody around us are just visions, the product of imagination without any grounding in the objective world. While they may still provide good fodder for daydreaming, they no longer pull us to take action to bring them into being, because we recognize that bringing them into being is just not possible. So we learn to make our peace with the world as it is. We look for ways to be a force for change. We know change comes slowly, sometimes not at all. The only way the world of our dreams shows up anymore may be in the form of disillusionment or frustration or an attachment to political leaders who fan that disillusionment and frustration and encourage us to believe that if we just get mad enough, we can have the world of our dreams. The lovely vision, it seems, gets implemented through anger rather than imagination. Mythology scholar Joseph Campbell, in his studies of perfect worlds from a variety of spiritual traditions, suggests that we make a mistake when we see those visions as a kind of outer reality that we want to be working towards. That is, the perfect world is not off on the horizon somewhere, sitting out there waiting for me to reach it or even construct it. Heaven is not in the sky, hell is not under the earth, the Elysian fields are not at the edge of the world, Atlantis is not under the ocean. Interpretations that place perfect worlds somewhere out there, beyond us, and then outline the journeys required to attain them, Campbell says, are all misunderstandings. Instead, he claims spiritual traditions intend for us to see those perfect worlds as images of spiritual states, inner states of being, that we can experience provided we do the inner work to experience them. For instance, two classic narratives that present themselves as guides to perfect worlds for souls in the afterlife, the Tibetan Book of the Dead and the Egyptian Book of the Dead, Campbell insists are actually psychological studies of the sorts of inner demons and desires every person has to wrestle with in order to know happiness in this life. Some of the biblical passages in which Jesus talks about the kingdom of God specify that the kingdom is within us or among us, not off above the clouds, and certainly not a place we get to only when we die. Again and again, Campbell argues we've misunderstood visions of perfect worlds as being situated outside of us and outside present time, and made of them strictly an external experience. And we do this because it's just so much easier to do it that way. It's easier for me to say that heaven is somewhere else when all I see around me is suffering. It's easy for me to say that nirvana is somewhere else when I feel beleaguered by the circumstances of my life. It's easier to place perfection far off, given the hard realities of this very imperfect world. An external place of perfection also relieves me of any responsibility for cleaning up my own act, since all the hindrances to perfection are outside of me. I'm not the reason life is imperfect. It's those other stupid MAGA people, those other stupid politicians, the family that never understands me, the coworkers who drive me crazy, the neighbors who are loud and insensitive. All the obstacles to perfection are somebody else and their creation. The argument's a compelling one, which is why Campbell says we perpetuate it. It's far easier to focus on all the idiots around me than deal with my own inner idiot who keeps me from being at peace. And I wonder sometimes if our own UU tradition encourages us to keep with this fallacy in ways that prevent us from being as effective as change agents as we might desire to be. In the time when our ancestors were breaking off from the traditional churches around them, they focused their reasons for breaking off on what they saw as an excessive preoccupation with the inner life, to the detriment of working to address the real injustices of the actual world, and also an excessive preoccupation with the evil intrinsic to human nature. Like most rebellions, our ancestors pushed to the opposite extreme of the extremes they were trying to correct. They took us from navel-gazing into a tireless commitment to the work of social justice, so that again and again throughout history, Unitarians and Universalists have been leaders for change. And they took us from dark pronouncements about humans being hopelessly bad to a sunny vision of humans as being innately good, desiring goodness, capable of discerning truth. Those correctives were sorely needed, and they've provided the focus and the energy of our tradition ever since. But did we lose something valuable when we went through that change? Did we throw out a necessary baby with the unnecessary bathwater? In recent years, we've seen a change in focus in our anti-racism work. No longer are we solely engaged in working for equity out there beyond the church walls, but now we're challenged to examine our own minds and hearts and learn how we cannot not carry unconscious racism within us because of the culture of racism in which we live, and that unconscious racism, so long as it remains outside our awareness, taints our justice efforts. This shift has not unfolded without conflict. I've heard members of the congregations I've served fret that we need to spend more energy out there where the problems are so big and less energy looking at ourselves. But I think we're learning that both perspectives, engaging with the injustice all around us and searching the depths of our hearts, both perspectives are needed. We cannot cease working to change the world, and we cannot cease working to change ourselves. In some ways, at this particular moment in time, a focus on our inner lives may be more critical than ever, as the culture around us intensifies in meanness, as it gives permission for us to let loose whatever self-serving tendencies we carry. Staying aware of those tendencies within ourselves makes it less likely we'll inflict them on other people. So revisit one more time that perfect world, that imaginary world of your childhood. What features of that world are you hoping might show up and be carried on in the perfect worlds imagined by our children, our grandchildren, the next generation? The perfect world I imagined as a child was heavily influenced by the series of books that took place in the magical land of Oz, a series I read faithfully all the way to the end and then repeated. I, of course, saw myself in the ruby slippers of the main character, Dorothy, admired and surrounded by her faithful companions always, the Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, the Scarecrow. Dorothy never met an opponent or a monster she could not defeat, even though she had no magical powers of her own except for those special shoes, in large part because she did such a good job of staying in close connection with her friends, and she was skilled at winning new friends wherever she went in Oz. Now, I did modify my own version of Oz by stocking it with lots of horses, my favorite animal as a child. And some days I believe that I ultimately did, in many ways, find a perfect world by spending my life in churches, which are a kind of unique world unto themselves. As a minister, I often, sometimes not willingly, found myself in the center of congregational life, just as Dorothy was in the center of life in Oz. And I have been blessed throughout my ministry to have church members come into my life who have all the wonderful qualities of Dorothy's friends, people with the heart of the Tin Man, the wisdom of the Scarecrow, the courage of the Cowardly Lion. Now, none of my congregations outfitted me with a pair of ruby slippers, but I've made my peace with that. In the first of the Oz series, Dorothy ends up back at home in Kansas, and the narrative suggests that her adventures in Oz may have been entirely internal, a kind of extended dream. So that perfect world she found turns out to be within her, embedded already within the circumstances of what she thought was just an ordinary life. Our Unitarian Universalist values call us out of familiar places, out of familiar ways of life, out into the world and to work for justice, to not stop working until the world has become the beloved community we desire. I imagine that your revitalized building that will come as a result of your capital campaign is going to position you well for doing that work we're called to do. And along with the call to go forth, may we be willing to do the work of bringing insight and freedom and compassion to our inner worlds, remembering that the perfect world we seek to create out there also can be created, maybe first needs to be created within us. A reading in the Gray Hymnal attributed to Chinese sage Lao Tzu links our outer and inner worlds of our dreams, saying, if there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be need to be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. May it be so. Amen.
So we come now to that time in our service each week when we invite you into generosity. The work of this church community is only possible with your generous contributions to our ongoing work to keep love at the center of all we do.
Good morning. I'm Terry Smith, here on behalf of the Caring Committee. One of our services to the community is to share the joys and concerns that you want your community to know about with an announcement in the Sunday services. And you can share those items through signing our logbook, which is on the altar before services. It's during the week, it's in the alcove next to the name tag board. Today is no ordinary Sunday. It just happens to be, besides being June the 1st, the birthday of the one, the only Susie Newton. Hey, Susie. I'm sorry, I didn't bring the cake, but maybe somebody else did. I'm also happy to announce that our dear friend Beth Griffin successfully underwent hip replacement surgery on Wednesday, and she's home recuperating. The not so easy part of the process, the work will be done, but this is her second hip replacement, and she's already smiling at the thought of gaining less painful mobility in the near future. Now, if there's anyone who has a silent joy or concern that you hold in your heart, this is a time to come forward and light a candle. We have stations on both sides of the altar, so please come forward.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Speak for me. Oh, sorry. Sing with me. Sing with me. Oh, my soul. Sing with me. Sing with me. Sing with me. Oh, my soul. Speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Oh, my soul. Speak for me. Speak for me. Speak for me. Oh, my soul. Dance with me. Dance
And I light this candle for the joys and concerns held by all those who are online for our service this morning.
Thank you. May your hearts be lifted and your soul at rest.
And now, as we draw close to the end of our time together in worship this week, we turn our attention from within our own community and their joys and concerns, and we prepare to engage with the world in the week ahead. We'll begin with a few announcements. We are preparing for our annual meeting next Sunday, June 8. You may have already seen the 2025 annual report that was sent out last week, and it's an excellent report. I hope you will read it if you haven't so far. In it, you will find information about our fabulous accomplishments as a church community over the past year, the agenda for the annual meeting, and the link to our online ballot. If you have any questions about the items up for a vote this year, the board is offering a Q&A session after the service today. Or feel free to contact Gordon, our board president, or other board members with questions. Voting is open for members now until 6 p.m. June 15. We need a quorum, and the online votes count for the quorum, so please don't forget to vote. Next week is also Music Sunday. Please plan to join us for a beautiful music-filled worship service, and then stay for fellowship and our annual meeting. Our worship service will be fully multi-generational, and we will have activities available for children during the annual meeting. Nursery care will be available throughout the service and the annual meeting. Chris Yates recently learned that Ram House has an urgent need for bulk quantities of plastic spoons, sandwich-size Ziploc bags, and barbecue sauce. Best purchased at Sam's or BJ's if possible. Please contact me by emailing billbestpitch@gmail.com to arrange pickup, or bring them with you to church on Sunday and I'll deliver them the following week. And Reverend Kathy has let me know that after the benediction, she would like to greet us as we depart the sanctuary at the door. We now welcome Jean Larson to come up and share a little about our ongoing capital campaign.
Well, first I want to announce that the Sciatic Nerve Pain Support Group will meet after the service in the coffee hour. I found it about 15 minutes ago. So I'm supposed to tell my story. I started coming here in the year 2000, and it was kind of a rough patch in my life. And all I wanted to do, honestly, was sit in the back row and look at the flame in the chalice. And it was a good place for that. But I was also drawn into the community, and I want to say thank you to Haney Hodges and to Millie Willis. They worked at that. I knew from the get-go that I should put a little money in the collection plate because my mama raised me right. But I kind of figured this annual pledge thing was, that was for the real UUs, like the gung-ho people. Lights, money for the staff to eat, stuff like that. It was good. I got on board with that. Then this capital campaign showed up recently. And I said, if you're going to have a club, it helps to have a clubhouse. We could just make up a big group text, and we could have a flash mob at Roasters next door one week, and we could go to Sweet Donkey the next, but probably not sustainable. I saw the pictures in the focus groups that a lot of you attended, and I have to say, I know more about the history of the English sonnet than I do about electricity and pipes. But I was impressed, and I will tell you, looking at those pictures, they ain't no sonnets. I also need to say, I kind of enjoy sneaking up the alley behind the church. But literally this morning, as I was doing that to make my way in, I met a distinguished visitor to our congregation who couldn't quite find the door, and we agreed it was not really very welcoming. And I brought up the issue of access. Even so, I really like this club. It is full of the most interesting people. You're kind of guaranteed, right? Interesting, that covers a lot of ground. It is a safe space, for sure, in dark days and bright ones. And it is indeed a sacred space. This isn't a clubhouse we're talking about. It's a sanctuary in every sense. So I thought about all of that, and I ponied up. Thank you.
And just a reminder that more announcements can be found in the weekly email newsletter. If you're not receiving the newsletter and would like to, please contact admin@uuroanoke.org.
Again, it was my pleasure for me to be with y'all this morning. I want to thank all of those who worked with me on creating this service. My wonderful accompanist here, Bill, Carrie, the music, and as well as the singers who helped us stay on pitch a little more closely. Always the tech people who make sure everything can be heard and everything that should not be heard is not heard. Our ushers and greeters, those who will be hosting coffee hour after the service. Truly, a Sunday morning grows out of the entire life of the congregation. So thank you for that. And now we extinguish our chalice. Though the flame of our chalice is out, it actually moves from the chalice into the hearts of each one of us, a light to be carried into the world that desperately needs that light now.
So before we do the closing song, which is sort of a meditation on becoming and dreams, so you can stay seated for meditation, I wanted to make an announcement, which is a naughty no-no, I know, but I have a microphone, so I can do it. Which is that for Mary Beth Chaconis's memorial, we're going to have a video of one of her favorite songs, Puff the Magic Dragon. And if you knew Mary Beth or were close to Mary Beth or want to be in the video, we have large Puff the Magic Dragon. Can you hold up a part of Puff? Okay. That's part of Puff. And today would be a good day to come up right after the service before you get your coffee. So you get a turn, and I'll take a picture of you moving Puff. It would be good to do it in twos because Puff is in two pieces. But you can just imagine that Puff is in two pieces. So our closing song is Becoming.
All
of the benediction are by Unitarian Universalist minister Peter Rabel. We build on foundations we did not lay. We warm ourselves at fires we did not light. We sit in the shade of trees we did not plant. We drink from wells we did not dig. We profit from persons we never knew. All our lives, we are ever gathered in community. Shalom, salam, namaste, amen.